call the meeting to order then. Thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks for getting down there, making sure that we had a quorum for our BMC meeting. Appreciate that. And with that, Bill, you want to take roll call? When you're ready.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Morning. Ed Lisinski,
I am here.
Mark Matheny. Here. Tom Allen. Here. Elizabeth Arrington. Brian Bishop.
Here.
Dan Docker. Andy Higgins.
Here.
Rachel Parrish.
Here.
Andre Jaen.
There.
Chris McWhite.
Here.
Amarinda Singh.
Here.
James Ouimet.
Here.
Doug Wise. Robin Yocum.
Great.
Yep, quorum, Mr. Chair.
I don't have my ballot, but are any of our new members, that that are technically not new members until January 1st, but anybody who we just nominated, I don't, Paul is here. Allison's not here. Anybody else up there? Eric Miller. Eric Miller, want to come up here? You're not technically on yet, but, you can still at least sit up here at the big boy table.
Big folks. Let's call it the news table up here. That's okay.
And welcome there.
Thank you. Sharp, Elizabeth.
All right. And then, any special guests? Do you have any board of directors? Oh, yeah, Ron, yep. Sorry. And, Director Peterson's back there.
That's right.
Same, any others? All right. Thanks everybody for being here. Do you have any other?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's still, I don't know, is he technically?
If you're at the table, you can't see it, can
You
you?
got it in last night?
He's sworn in.
Yes.
He is the director.
Does he have to resign?
I believe I do owe you something here, but we'll get to that.
As I said yesterday, I will gladly accept your resignation.
Yes.
Bigger, better things.
Yeah, that came quick. So much fun.
Typically,
Out the door.
typically it's with regret.
Yes. All right, so we do have, well, actually, I guess, yeah, then just technically two board of directors and one former board of directors, right? So, all right. With that, do we have any other special guests or anybody else you wanted to recognize, Bill?
Any other ICC staff in the room? Other than myself?
All right.
Anybody care to be recognized? If you do, please sign in. And we'll make sure you get minutes of the meeting and notices of future meetings.
All right, and with that, yeah, any announcements? Actually, yeah, thanks, Bill, for bringing that up. I will, again, for everybody that's here, sign in the back, put your email down on that, and Bill can get you the minutes and record you as a guest attending. There's also two QR codes. Are you? Yeah, there's one QR code on the back table for the ICC membership benefits, which, so if you were downstairs in the full meeting, that QR code is back there. And then also Elizabeth has another one that's out there, and I'll want to wait and explain it later. All right. So there are two QR codes back there for a couple of surveys, just so everybody's aware of that. Are there any changes or adjustments to the agenda from anyone? If not, I'll take a motion to accept the agenda.
Motion, we accept the agenda. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in there, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We have accepted the agenda. Now I guess it's roll call and GC members time. So sorry, Bill, I skipped up to number 3 a
That's
second
okay,
ago,
Mr.
but
Chair. Just a suggested agenda.
that's right. That was a change or or adjustment to the agenda. Is there any government or governing committee member who had anything that they wanted to bring up, anything to discuss before we get into the agenda? Andrew?
Yeah, and just in recognition of the presentation that you're just given about the charter review, that's obviously a big deal. It's important to everyone at this table, everyone invested in the membership councils. And so I strongly recommend if you have an interest in following that conversation, you heard with the timeline, it's about to start happening really rapidly. And there isn't going to be a whole lot of time for that, hey, no one told me sort of conversation. So that subcommittee's been working really hard about making sure everything is posted and transparent online where you can follow meeting minutes, follow conversations. But if you'd like to be part, please be interested and be active about it because that timeline just will not lend itself to getting things done without, without your commitment to that. So.
Thank you. And yeah, thanks for all your work on that as well, Andrew. All right. Recognition of termed off members and welcoming of the new GC members. We have, I think, just two who are not going to be with us anymore that are here today, right? Bill?
Well,
Just the two to your left.
There's one, Jim, James Williamette has turned off,
Bill returned.
as has, Dan Dockery, and technically, Audrey resigned, but she was turning off as well, so that's why we know.
Doug Wise and Doug and Robin have not seeked a second term.
Correct. Doug Wise, Robin Yocum did not seek reelection. They were both eligible, but they just decided not to seek reelection.
And then Andre, of course, is moving on to bigger and better things. He's leaving us
Say something.
from the ELX and the BMC
Really?
up to the boards. Thank you for your time and service and commitment to the BMC. Some of you in more years than others, but still, the impact that both of you had will be felt here for quite a while. So I appreciate both of your time. And then new governing committee members. Obviously, we elected 6 new members. And Eric and Paul, I'd like to welcome you two, even though technically, like I said, you're not members yet until the board of directors ratifies you. But we'd still love to hear from you guys and welcome to the meeting. All right, moving on then. Number 5, approval of the meeting minutes for September 13th, 2023. Bill, do you want to talk about the minutes, how you do those? I know you typically do, but I think we've got 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure. No, that's good. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just so for the people that are here today, thank you for attending. If you look at our agenda, you can see, I hope this works. As you can see, I highlight the, try to point out some different links that you can get to. So when you look at our agenda electronically, you can get to each of the different links and what things said, you should be able to get directly to. Okay, this brings you right to our meeting from last month. So we didn't get to the minutes. I was not able to get the minutes there, but the minutes are available, sent to you last week, but generally that's how that works.
So yeah, so the GC did get a copy of those minutes, and again, all of our meetings are available online. So go back, watch those at any time.
Yeah, I apologize. I was thinking, yes, the video is always available like this online, and you can always go back and look at previous meeting minutes. You can probably hear, but please take advantage of the ICC social media page, YouTube page, where you can go and see not just building membership council, but I believe fire is also done this way. And another awful lot of good videos that you can see that ICC puts out. I'm hoping many of you are plugged into that.
Thank you. With that, do I have, I guess, any comments, questions on the minutes? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Second.
Any comments, discussion?
Brian.
I apologize, but I'm having a little trouble hearing. Where do you find that? Guy
I'm sorry.
what's the web page direction?
So this is the ICC media webpage.
ICC media.
It's YouTube. It's the YouTube page that ICC has. If you look at the URL up top there.
Link to the agenda, right?
It's linked on the agenda. So if you get home and if you can pull your computer out, you'll see that you'll be able to get to it right from this agenda. That was the idea. I apologize if you couldn't hear. Does that clarify for you?
All right. Yeah, so it's been motion seconded to accept the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up on the agenda, is the non-BMC GC members or guest time. So this is where we will open it up to anybody out here that has anything they'd like to, discuss with us or anything. You know, I guess if you're new to the building council, building membership council, we're sort of a conduit to the board of directors. You know, if you were down in the meeting, down there earlier, you know, there's 7 of us, 7 different membership councils that are out there, each with a different specialty. We're sort of the voice of the building industry. You know, at this time, you know, we have things, we have subcommittees on raising the profile, subcommittees on, best practices and innovation. So those are typically the types of things that we generally engage with, but if you have any thoughts, any questions, anything that you wanted to bring up, now is the time to kind of address this group and, we can start some conversations. You know, if you bring things up, we may take it up at a future meeting, but we can certainly get you guys, information on that, but I will open it up to anyone who had any thoughts, comments, anything they wanted to bring up to the group. Dave, anything?
Not at all. You guys are doing great.
Yeah, right.
I think, much like when we do plan reviews, things that are bad are what we bring up usually are incorrect, but those that work, we don't mention anything. I would like this group, if everybody agrees to it, as far as the group clicker or the voting device, and now turn, this part the smoothest I've ever seen in all those years.
Thanks.
If anybody agrees to that would be a good comment. So that's the good news.
There you go.
And nothing else.
Yeah, you never get the positive feedback, so thanks, Rodney. Anyone else? All right. With that, the next, sorry, anybody behind me? No, everybody's good back there? All right.
Can I make a comment, please?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm certain that all of the guests we have here today deserve some form of recognition, but I just wanted to single out Mr. Glenn Holtz. He is the director of the Pennsylvania Association of Code Officials, and he is actually officially retiring at the end of this year. He is leaving TACO as well, and he is here today, so I just wanted to make sure he gets recognized for all the great work he's done in Pennsylvania. Keep him safe. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, with that, we will move on then. We'll close the member time and move on to the chairman report. So I don't really have too much, you know, I do want to bring up, I'm not sure if it's in here later on. I don't think it was from what I recall of the agenda, but we did have an excellent insight session on Monday. And I want to thank Chris McWhite and then Allison, who's not here, but will be coming on to the BMC, and myself, and we had Scott Holm and Dwayne Garris as well on that panel discussion. But it was an excellent program. Did anybody, the guests here, did anybody attend the Building Membership Council? Yeah, I know you were there. Yeah, but I guess, yeah, what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a good discussion, if people bring up ideas as far as, you know, getting people that are looking for change to get transition into inspections and code administration. It would be helpful if we could develop some type of roadmap.
Yeah.
How to get from A to B. It's one thing to get somebody interested in it, and then be able to direct them on their next step.
Yeah, so, and thanks for that, Jared. Yeah, so thanks, Ryan. The insight session was all about recruiting that next generation of code officials. You know, where do you find them? How can you recruit them? How can you keep the ones that you have? How can you get them trained up? A little bit of succession planning within your department, a little bit of, let's see, kind of how's that next generation of building officials and plan reviewers and everything, how do they, you know, kind of react now, especially, you know, post-COVID and everything. So, it was I think a great session. We've had some feedback already. on, maybe doing that next year. Something similar, but including, one liaison from each membership council to be a part of that, because building membership council, we're gonna look at things one way, but PMG may look at it different, and membership council may look at it totally different as well. So, again, I guess, look for that. Thanks to Dan Dockery, who can't be here, today, but, he really kind of had that idea and ran with it. Had a family issue back at home, so he couldn't make it out here. So I kind of stepped in at the last second just to do some hosting duties for him, but really, again, it was Chris, Allison, Andre as well, helped put that program together, and the rest. And I think it was a great program. I think it's something that we want to keep doing in the future, maybe and expanding it out a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, and I think in part because you mentioned the succession for people in your department, but I think you need to have another module that kind of leads to that, and that would be succeeding.
Yep. And I think, in the discussion too, it was an excellent, mix in the room. It was almost split perfectly into thirds of maybe, larger jurisdictions, medium jurisdictions, and very small jurisdictions. It was, I took some surveys of the room beforehand, and it was pretty much exactly 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 there. Good mix of people who are new to the industry and have been in the industry for a while. We had two gentlemen who were in there for 40 years in this industry, and then also a bunch who had 5 years or less, and this was their first ABM. So it was just a great cross section of everybody, and definitely something I want to encourage. Start thinking about it for next year. How we put this together. Talked to Ron Peaster already a little bit about it, so I think we'll definitely have a slot if they do something like those insight sessions again, and if not, we'll come up with something else. But start to think of, if there's another topic or another conversation that we want to have with that. Maybe something with, how are things different post-COVID now? Just with inspections and recruiting again, and finding, people to come into the industry. How are, contractors working a little bit differently? What are some of those changes that we're seeing? That was an idea that was kicked around maybe for next year's topic. I don't want to keep doing the exact same one every year because people get bored with it, but maybe we can recycle this one in another 3 years and come back to it again and see how things are over that time. So. Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
So I know that not everybody in this room was able to make it to that listening and the conversation session that we had for innovations, but I think it would be great if we could consider perhaps creating or making use of an existing portal for any person who has seen success or failures in recruiting of any age group or any demographic in their own departments, what they've seen either as an employee or as a leader in their department. But let us know so we can share those ideas and distill them, and perhaps there'll be something that will help another department that is suffering the same situation you're in. We can all learn from each other.
I think that would be something great for the best practices and innovation subcommittee to take up.
Funny how I brought that up.
Yeah.
The document you can fill out.
But yeah, no, we had some great ideas from people as to what has been working out there across the country. So I just wanted to bring that up. Also, again, just to thank everybody that's terming off or not going to be with us. Thank them again. Again, we have a 15-person council here. We have 6 brand new members this year coming in. So out of the 8 of you that are remaining, myself being the 9th, we're going to need everybody to kind of step up and really kind of help out the newer people. Even though Paul and Allison have both kind of been here, they've kind of been along for the ride for quite a while. So I kind of consider them, that they've been a part of the group here for a while, but they're still technically new, and we're still gonna have four other brand new people as well. So definitely reach out to them. One thing, we can talk about it maybe next time, but I'd love to get almost like a mentorship program going with the newer BMC GC members, where we kind of pair up one of the brand new people with somebody who's been here maybe in their second term. And, just so they have somebody to kind of talk to and bounce ideas off of, so. With that, that ends my chairman report, I think. I don't think I had anything else to really bring up, so I'll turn it over to Mark for a vice chair report.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, everyone. As always, it's fantastic to see everybody in person. Love to have that. My hand lifts, so I have some arthritis, as many of us do. It's so sore from shaking people's hands all week long. It's amazing. So it's just great to be able to do that. And I'm going to touch on a couple of things and why I bring that up. The one I have asterisk, and you guys hear me continuously, participate. Find a way to do something, right? We have 3 subcommittees. C&O is growing into its own entity, which is fantastic. That was ultimately the goal of that in the first place. And you know, super kudos to Andre and Tim for just taking that into an exponential level. So fantastic work on that. Find a way to participate, right? So if you're raise a profile and best practices and innovation, while it seems like it's just 2 subcommittees, there's so many facets to all of those subcommittees. So anything that you do within what you do within your associations throughout your state, throughout your region, find those little facets that help and bring that back and find a way to participate. And I say that we had a fair amount of new people last year, and everybody is finding a way. So I really appreciate that. We've got a whole new load coming in again this year, and I just encourage everybody to do that again. A couple of things at the board meeting that were very interesting that I think fall into maybe one or both of the, and I won't take it away if you're going to talk on it, fall into one or both of our subcommittees for raising the profile and best practices. Just very quickly, and I'll let Ron, because he gave me the evil eyes. They don't take my thunder. He said, but there was something about getting into the AI world, and if you're not there, you better get in front of it, right? So figure out within your own jurisdiction, within your own state, within your own associations, get in front of AI. Because at one point we're going to be answering to them. So just kidding, jumping me. Hollywood doesn't know what it's doing. But ICC did at the board meeting. There was a couple of really nice presentations from Jaen on that about being able to answer questions. They've consolidated some things. It's AI based. It actually is on a Google search. But if you actually want the answer, you got to be on the subscription, which is fine. The reality of it, it's great that it's fully out there, right? So you can type in a question and that'll find that. And it's in progression, right? It's super early on. And there were a couple other things that were presented that I think fall very well into what we can help with as well. Talking about one-on-one conversations, you know, you just there's just times that you can find limited to an hour and a half. You have to get through all the pieces. Sometimes when you just stand around and talk to people and find out interesting things. I don't know if you guys know Tom from Target. He's an associate and a member and does a lot of great work. You know, Target has something called Construct Reach. Construct Reach. And they're doing some amazing work going into the communities where targets are. And he gave the numbers. I can't reiterate those numbers, but how many renovations or new buildings they build every year. And when they go in there and do a renovation, they have actually identified the importance of helping that community. So we're talking about raising the profile. And what they do is they actually put up a full tent and they bring in designers and the general contractors and the subcontractors. But in the conversation with him the other night, he said, what we're missing is us, right? Where does the regulatory part, where are the inspectors, the plan reviewers, and that come in, and he really wants to engage that part of it. And I just thought that was a fantastic idea. And what they want to do is know where that region is. He said Ron is working closely with him. So I think we need to kind of make that connection and see where that goes for us. The next step. I think there's great opportunity there for us as the BMC, but also us within our own communities, within our state, to find where those are and reach out to the inspectors, plan reviewers of that area. Huh?
Yeah, please get with Tom Phillips and do that, because I think he has me on speed dial. Because I get a lot of questions from him, which I'm glad to help him. Because he always is trying to do the right thing. But yeah, Target is has been a fantastic partner to ICC for years. And he is moving it to more of a local, regional effort as well. So.
Yes, and in program, you can go onto the website, just Google construct reach and you get more details into that. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for us. The other item I wanted to bring up was, I just wrote it down here as ELMC dispersion. And I just say that because it's super obvious, right? ELMC has kind of the magnifying glass. We know all you folks are, right? And from the beginning, and that happens many other times, right? The group from Texas, the group from New York, the group from California, from North Carolina, we know how they're kind of moving and growing within ICC. And, but it was just so impressive to see, and even just at the meeting we just came from, to watch how the dispersion is happening. And I say that just because we know all your names and your faces and everything. So we've watched that progression, but it's just so great to watch that growth and just one connection, one person, one additional person that you add in there just grows this organization and everything that we do, all the good work that we do. So it's just, that's just generally an observation. And the last piece is, and Bill, thank you for hitting the YouTube. We've had some conversations over the last year and a couple of people weren't keyed in on that. You know, you can go to the ICC, go to the Building Membership Council, and you can get the click to that YouTube, and you can go and look at all the other previous meetings, right? And I know, and I've been yelled at or made fun of a couple of times, like, why would you go back to a previous meeting? Don't you have something better to do? Yeah, I do. I got lots of better things to do, but also I have things to kind of help me remember what happened, or I may have missed a part. We're all got to get pulled away one way or another. That's a great resource, right? And not just ours, all of them. If you want to get caught up on a couple other things, use that YouTube resource. It's a fantastic thing to use. And that's all I got.
All right, thanks, Mark.
All right, with that, we'll move over to the Board of Directors Liaison Report, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, we have our direction. Mr. Feaster gave us that. The board is not calling into question the membership councils. They know their value, although it's been sometimes a hard fight to prove that value. And, as we have told them many times, the membership councils are the backbone of the ICC. We're the 10%, or you are the 10%, excuse me, that does the work. Everybody else just along for the ride. To echo some of Mark's comments there, you know, we need to recruit more. I understand that we may be close to losing our domination of top membership numbers if we don't do so. You know, it reminds me of a good movie I like, Hacksaw Ridge, you know, and Medic Doss, just one more. So everybody needs to get out there and recruit just one more. If everybody done that, we'd double our numbers, and then we'd have something else to be challenged by. As Director Jaen said, we are on a tight timeline for this, and I know that we can do this. It is going to be simplified once all this work is done. I know Greg Johnson was probably leaping for joy in his heart when he heard that we didn't have to do the mid-year report, and that we can do a consolidated report. And that hopefully that'll make that easier for everybody. I am on the ad hoc committee for serving the membership needs. Secretary Treasurer Boso is the chair of that committee. So we need to make sure that we get that survey and answer that. And, you know, we got work to do. So let's do our work. Let's do it in a timely manner. Let's get the report back to the board. I don't think we have anything to worry about as far as calling into question the value of the membership councils at this time, but that has happened in the past. And there are several board members that have fought for the membership councils. And you got two right here that's going to fight for them because that's where we started. And but now 2 years and I'm gone. So we got to get the word out. We got to recruit. There's too many avenues to serve nowadays. There's no excuse for saying you can't serve somewhere. A lot of things are virtual. I do like the idea of the leadership conjunction with the second, meeting of the year, so that still worked, but we had to fight for that also. But, well, like I said, we're here to serve you. Y'all do great work. And, thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Rhonda. Yeah, thanks for fighting for us. And, you know, like you mentioned, you know, I think there's enough board of directors now who came from the membership council. So hopefully they understand the value and the importance of them. Either came from membership councils or major jurisdictions as well, obviously with Jose. So, yeah, so thanks for that. And I was just gonna say, are there any other board of directors who wish to make comments?
First of all, I want to thank Ron. He's an outspoken advocate for members, always has been, always will be. And, yeah, he's exactly right. Part of the effort that's gone into the charter review and things like that is really commensurate with the fact that the work is getting done and, there's so much potential for growth. Of that, I'm going to ask everybody to make a note, write it down, put it in your phone, whatever. The Pro Codes Act, that was something that came up in the board meeting. That's of consequence to every member here, every member in ICC. It's about protecting the intellectual property that you work on. So ICC and NFPA have partnered up to put in a bipartisan bill that they're asking you to please write your congressman, your senator, your county commissioners, your city commissioners, on behalf of your organizations, your chapters, your regions, to discuss this with your elected officials and tell them about the value of the code official and what it means to be able to have a code that's adopted by reference, so it's protected in terms of copyright. So it's just something really innovative that ICC is really caring about. Yeah, I would just ask that everyone make a note of that, and please, if you get a letter, something like that, copy your GR staff on it as well. They've definitely asked to be part of
I
it.
believe I put some of the scan cards in the back, so grab one of those, scan it, that'll get some info.
So please, yeah, copy Billy. I think it would be awesome for the board of directors to see that outpouring of support, to see those letters coming in through Billy saying, yeah, our members care about this and we're with you.
Thanks, Andrew. Any other board of directors? I don't see anybody else here. They all left us, so. All right, we will close that part and then move on to the ICC staff liaison.
I did have
report.
a duly elected member join us, Chair.
Yes.
Well, yes, we called you out, Allison. You tried to sneak
I
in.
was doing a charter update and a few things. Yeah. They
Mr.
gave me a gift bag at my other meeting.
Where's our gift bag?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Gibbons, no.
And yeah,
Don't get a fancy shirt.
I apologize for being late.
no problem. And thanks and welcome. And as I explained to some of our other new members here, you know, you're not technically on yet, but we'd still love to hear from you and hear your thoughts and opinions till from now until December 31st when you are.
Turn around and take another look.
Yep. Oh, no, I know. Yeah, they didn't sneak in. I'm well aware. So Bill, I'm not going to move on to the ICC staff liaison report quite yet. As long as we're still on the board of directors reports. We had at least two board of directors that popped in here back behind. So I don't know if you guys want to
Two officers.
say hi and address the group at all. With our incoming president and vice or chair and vice chair. President and vice chair.
Thank you very much. We are not here to interrupt. This is one of the membership council that's always does good. Just want to be here to listen, to observe, so that, you know, anything that we can bring back to the rest of the board that doesn't have the opportunity to sit in this meeting, we can do it. But we are also here because we definitely want to remind you that they do have our support. But thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
As many of you know, I listen in pretty regularly on the list. I'm still, I'm pretty sure I'm still a member, but, part of this at one point, but just keep doing the great work that you're doing. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coordinating with some of the other membership councils. I think that's gonna really help some of the ones that have grown as fast, or, you know, see who's growing fast now. So I think that cross pollination is a great thing. So thank you.
We tried to sneak in.
Many eyes.
Yep. All right, now we will move on to the ICC staff liaison report, Bill.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Folks that are here, thank you for joining us. So those of you that don't know me, I'm the Government Relations Manager for New England. I'm also the staff liaison for this group. And what I'm going to show you, if I can get to it on our website, admittedly, it can be challenging for even me as almost a 10-year staff person, but we'll get there. And I want to show you probably the best resource you can get from that comes out of GR. If you don't know your GR representative, and I'm speaking to everybody, most of our BC governing committee members know me, of course, as do my members in my state. But if you're out there and you don't know who it is, please take my card in the back, ask a question. And I think you'll find that your government relations staff manager in your state or region will be very helpful to you. We do put out every month, going to pull it up best I can, just to give you our. Okay, so I got to the website, that's a good thing. But from here, anything goes, but I do want to get to our. Advocacy page. And we got it.
All right.
So exactly how you get there, I'm unsure, admittedly, but it's buried somewhere.
You put a star next to it so you can.
But that's a good idea.
That's what I do.
Thank you for that. So this is where you'll get much of the information about what government relations does, but I want to point you to, as you can see, a ton of information here. And our.
Down.
To the left.
There it is. GR monthly report. So Rick Hoffey, one of our staffers, puts this out, gathers the information, and October is out. So you can get to this. And much of what I talk about, I've tried to bring into the BMC agenda as we talked earlier, with the links that will go directly to a bunch of the information that's here. But this is a whole bunch of information that can be very valuable to you. We put it out monthly, the beginning of every month. I typically will send it out to my interested parties, and on that distribution list is probably over 200 people. So your government relations manager also probably has a list of that size. So please reach out to them and get on this distribution list. This is probably some of the best and updated information you can get on a monthly basis. Relative to October, obviously, we're in at the annual meeting at the ABM. So a lot of this is relatively new. It came out right before last week, right before the ABM, and here we are. And as you can see, we're promoting our government relations forum that we had back on Monday, the insight session, and then much more information here. And you can scroll down and see an awful lot of good stuff with clickable links that will get you to any given web page, microsite that can give you the information you need. So please take advantage of that. I'd encourage you all to ask those questions. For the record, I was a longtime member of ICC, 21 years as a code official, and now with ICC for 10 years. And I find that you need to ask questions. So it'll make my job a lot easier because none of us in here are mind readers, right? We can't read your mind. You need to ask a question, and we will be glad to help you. I can assure you of that. So please ask the question, reach out, grab this link, if for nothing else, and you'll be better off for it. So I'll take any questions relative to some more immediate ICC questions and what's happening within our world. Advocacy, for those of you that may not understand what it is, we advocate for code adoptions. We advocate, number one, for our membership, right? For you all. Being a member myself previously, we advocate for you, but we also advocate, just as importantly, for code adoptions, code updates, things that are happening in your world that affect what you do. We haven't even touched on the grant funding opportunities. And folks, I got to tell you, if you didn't get to that webinar yesterday, or the seminar yesterday with Stella Carr, please reach out to her. There is a ton of money out there for you to help enhance and improve your jurisdiction and your administration of the codes. So please, get a little, if you get, you just take a little step and we can give you a ton of information. Don't want to overwhelm you, of course. Being a former code official, I get it. You're all here today. This past week, and the work is probably piling up. Some of you can do electronic stuff, but you're here as volunteers generally, right? Working on stuff like this. So good on you for that. But please reach out and let us help you. Let the GR help you, and let this membership council help you as well.
Out of the guests that are here, does anybody not get that email from their GR rep? Right now, are you all getting that every month? You're not? All right. I would definitely touch base with Bill afterwards. He can either get you in touch with your GR rep or he can just add you
And
to.
my cards are in the back, so please grab one of my cards. If you don't want to ask the question now, please, grab me later or grab one of us later, and we're glad to help you.
Excellent. Anything else? You've
That's all
said
I have.
enough.
That's all I have for
All
now.
right. Does anybody have any questions for staff or the board of directors? I didn't ask for. Anybody on the GC have any questions for Bill or Ron or any other board members? Or anybody else, special guests, any questions? Yeah,
Comment, as we hear a positive comment, I'll give another one, that the education programs that were incorporated within this ABM were certainly excellent, and it was nice to have those competing with other things, and
Yeah.
really, I think the structure of this was definitely much better.
and I'll just read between the lines, but I'm assuming that when you say the education sessions, you meant the one from your American Wood Council.
That was-
Just kind of read between the lines of.
Were there others?
What you're trying to say. Yep, no, yeah, we all appreciate that. So-
Shameless
Was
plug.
Matt Hunter?
Shameless.
I would like to echo, that actually was, it was heartening to me to see that there was such a nice balance of not only your education and updates on what the codes are, but also legal and management activity. Necessary skills. There was a healthy balance of all of that, well spaced out, and I was glad to see that.
And yeah, and to that too, I know I plugged our insight session, that was on Monday, but when Dan was going to originally do that, I was gonna go in there, kind of do a quick introduction and then jump out to one of the other insight sessions, because I think there were 3 or 4 of those that I really wanted to attend.
I was just reading it on my phone. It said something about it doesn't show clock, man.
Yes. Okay, so this is
Large
large
rooms. No, because
What's that?
all of these insight
Just not
sessions were
Yeah, they were some excellent insight sessions.
Today.
There you go. Thanks, Bill.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, to my point, but yeah, the insight sessions, there were, like I said, 3 or 4 that I really wanted to attend, and had to fill in here on the BMC one, which again, I think that was probably the best one out of the group, but yeah, so thanks to ICC, if you can pass that along to Matthew and his team. I think the education this year was
For
fantastic.
the record, I think the emerging trends in safety was probably the best one.
Yeah.
Put out by GR.
All right, we will move on then. So ICC Board of Director changes to the Membership Council update. We did hear a presentation from Ron Peaster earlier on some of those changes and everything. Bill, I don't know if you had any other comments or.
No, I actually missed Ron's comments. I was up here setting up, but I think we're on the same page. Ron is working closely. There's a deadline I believe you all have. There's interest in assisting, but we need to get some info to the board in December. So we're working hard on that to make those changes effective the beginning of the year.
I guess so out of the GC, I'm assuming everybody here was down there. Did anybody have any questions or thoughts or comments on any stuff Ron was getting into? Is all, and understanding what's going on and changes up ahead. And again, thanks to Ron Hampton and some of the other board of directors who were pushing for us to keep this group moving and keep meeting twice a year and all that good stuff. But
And before I forget, one of the items that kind of crossed my mind as I was looking at the presentation with when Allison did the charter review update, we are losing a member from this group, Andre, who was working with Allison. So we might want to look at somebody here to.
I'd like to volunteer for that.
Yep, yeah, we're going to, we'll put
I don't wanna
Rachel
forget
on that unless anybody else really wants to, but otherwise, yeah, Rachel has volunteered to kind of step up, work on that committee and take over for Andre. So thanks for that, for stepping up. So always nice when we don't have that awkward silence and be saying, hey, I want to do this. when we actually have somebody that came up after the meeting and said, hey, I'd love to help out on that, so.
What's worse is when everybody else turns and looks at you.
I know. Oh, no, that's the best thing about being chair is I can say, hey, one of you guys.
People.
Well, now, Mr. Chairman, you know, the year I was on sustainability, you know, Greg Johnson, you don't volunteer, he appoints you, so.
Yep, yep.
They speak up in that membership council pretty quick.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, and I just want to flip it because I know continuity outreach is last, but that's okay, we're good. And I want to get back over to fire service. but
We'll let you jump in here, Tim.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I look forward to continuing the collaboration between building and fire. I know we want to do a joint meeting at some point in time, and I think that will be a great opportunity to exchange a lot more ideas and a lot more preferences from the group. I'm more than happy to continue my little role in continuity and outreach. And like I said, I just wanted to stop in, say hello, congratulations, new members. Like I said, I'm one of those go-betweens, but I look forward and working with Tom, making sure we get our meetings. Our meeting will be November 13th, I think. We're actually bumping it up a week because of Thanksgiving holiday, but it will be virtual. And I'm sure that email will go out. If you're not on that email list, just let me know or Carl know. We'll make sure we put you on there.
And Tim, I don't know if you said it when you came in, Tim, the vice chair of the fire service membership council and the representative to the continuity outreach, co-chair.
And our liaison to this committee.
And he holds a lot of titles, so yes.
And sorry to, I saw you back there. I just thought you were sticking your head in just to see what we were up to. I didn't know you wanted to get back to your own group, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, well, we had a couple of technical difficulties. I'm not aware of that. So our presentation on hydrogen is now going right now.
All right, we'll let you get back. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, just want to give one last opportunity. Anybody have any questions on the, kind of the direction of the membership councils? All right. Moving on then, we will get into these subcommittee reports. Before we get into those too much, you know, again, we're transitioning now to a new board here, a new membership council, I should say. With Raise the Profile, we are fortunate enough to have both of our co-chairs returning here, and I talked to Amrinder, you're good too, right, with coming back for co-chair?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. I assume. But yeah, so both of our co-chairs for Raise the Profile have graciously agreed to come back and serve as co-chair again for 2024, and I appreciate that. Best Practice Innovation, Chris is half of our co-chairs. We did lose our other co-chair. And Chris agreed to come back, and then also Paul is volunteered to step up and be the other half of that co-chair for Best Practices and Innovation moving forward onto 2024. Continuity and Outreach, we're going to be losing our co-chair on the Continuity and Outreach with Andre. And I haven't talked to her officially, but
Yeah, I figured I'd get.
yeah. I'm assuming that Allison would be honored to.
Nothing like starting your tour of duty in like 3 months early.
The highest pay grade.
So, yeah.
I get two.
We'll double your salary from CCC here.
No, thank you for the opportunity.
Yep. So, yeah, you know, it won't be official till January 1st in a way, but, yeah, but the five of you, thanks for stepping up and volunteering or voluntolding to be, chairs and co-chairs of those committees. So with that, I will turn it over to Raise the Profile, and, Arminder or Elizabeth, feel free to jump in with an update here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So first, I wanted to start off by saying thank you to my co-chair Elizabeth for all the hard work she's done this past year, and she has a lot of great initiatives and programs that I will let her explain better. I'll just go over some of the items that I've been able to work on and I'm currently working on. Mr. Nash, if it's possible, if I can request, if you can go to raisetheprofile.com in the meantime. So one of the cool things we were able to do was we obtained the domain raisetheprofile.com. And I was actually surprised that was available because of every industry is trying to raise a profile in their respective industry. So we were able to secure this domain. We made a draft web page. And what the purpose of this web page is going to be is, once obviously we get approval, we have 2 of our ICC directors here. And once Mr. Nash and the board, I'm not sure what the internal process is, but once we get formal approval to formally launch this website to the public, the goal of this website is actually to raise the profile of our members. We have a lot of hardworking inspectors, plans examiners, code officials, and unfortunately, they don't get the recognition that they deserve. And the 5 programs that I would really like to focus on under Raise the Profile is when people have years of service, whether it's your first year as a code official, or even a permit tech can be extremely tough. So year 1, year 5, 10, 15, we want to issue years of service recognition letters. We also want to issue recognition letters for when people retire. Unfortunately, not a lot of townships and cities and counties are issuing proclamations or recognizing people that are retiring after 10, 15, 20 years of service. So we want to be able to issue that letter where that elected body would read the proclamation, would read the letter, and recognize our member who did such a fantastic job of serving their community. So the next type of recognition letter we're going to do is certified, 100% certified departments. And it's funny, Mark, that you brought up Target, because I think back in 2014 or 2015, Target actually partnered with ICC, and they had this 100% certified department program where Target was, I don't remember all the details about it, but anyways, we want to recognize departments across the country that are 100% certified, because that in itself is a really big task and a challenge. And then the last 2 recognition letters that we want to issue are when people obtain specific certifications and credentials, such as permit tech, the CBO, MCP, and some of the other credentials and certifications that really should highlight the hard work of that individual and the work that they're going to be doing for their department. And the last initiative that we have here is obviously we have Building Safety Month, right? And Building Safety Month recognizes what Building Safety Month is. But what we would like to add on to Building Safety Month is actually start recognizing the building departments across the country that are doing all of the hard work. So the ICC BMC would issue a proclamation specific to the building department, to their elected body, in honor of Building Safety Month, that the BMC is recognizing that building department. So those are the different recognition types of programs that Elizabeth and I are working on. And hopefully, once this website receives the blessings, I'm not sure, like I said, what that process is going to be. And I'm sure Director Ron and Director Andre will assist Mr. Nash and everybody here to get this officially launched, hopefully by the end of the year, so we can start, doing all these cool things from January. And other than that, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Nash and all of the ICC staff and the board of directors for that really cool program that you guys have, which is that Code of Honor Scholarship. Because of that Code of Honor Scholarship in 2014, actually in Long Beach, that was my first ever ICC conference, and we're going back to Long Beach next year. So I just want to take this time to say, because of that, I am here today. So thank you guys, and I hope you're going to continue to keep that program going until ICC exists, which is hopefully going to be forever. So that's all I have, and Elizabeth, thank you.
So one thing we did this year was update the roster for emails to the Raise the Profile and participation Raise the Profile. Right now, there's about 16 people on that email. So if there's an area that you would like to get plugged into the BMC, we are accepting volunteers for the Raise the Profile Subcommittee. One of the things that we've worked on in the past couple months is this participation survey. And the purpose of this survey is to identify barriers to participation so that when we identify those, maybe we can work with other membership councils or ICC staff or the board of directors to see what we can do to correct those barriers so that more people can participate. If the ad hoc committee on evolving needs, once the data is collected from that survey, if it would be beneficial to you all, we can share that.
Absolutely.
So if you haven't done the survey, I would appreciate you completing that and encouraging others, even if you're not a member of a membership council, to complete that survey. So that's like the hot fire right now. As Amrinder brought up, the building safety month. We have a few people that work on a building safety month review. We haven't reestablished that yet, and so in the next in the upcoming months, we'll be getting together for that. But really the two things to review building safety month and the information that's on the website, and offer suggestions if suggestions are needed for improvement. And then also spotlight the individual building official or building professional to raise their individual profile through your jurisdiction, community, family, friends. And so those are that's just a brief overview of some things that we're looking at. And we can take all the volunteers or help get with that. Another thing that was brought up that we've kind of started working on, but I would need more help and more volunteers, is a welcome packet. So once you become a member of a membership council, receiving an email or information on what's next. So now that I've submitted this online form, how do I actually get plugged in, or how can the skills that I have best serve ICC? So we're working on creating that pathway essentially. There's a lot of great information on the website. It's just finding it and connecting it to the right people at the right time, the right place. So it may be as simple as just, let's explore the website and use the resources that are already there, just make them more accessible. So if you would like to help the Raise the Profile Subcommittee, you can either give me your business card or email Bill, and he emails us if you're interested in the subcommittee.
I think he's going to the.
Yeah, so, thank you for bringing that up. I wanted to go back a little bit and just kind of help out the people in here because, we go to these annual meetings and everybody that sits up here knows how to get involved. Some of you may not know how to get involved, and other than being an ICC member, our charge is to try to get some people to fill out these subcommittees. And if you're out there wondering what you can do, this is what you can do. Obviously, right off of our, and the challenge with our webpage sometimes is, happens, but under membership, we get you right to.
Council committee.
It's clear. So yeah, so we get you right to our membership, and council committee page where you can actually join committees. But here, building membership council will bring you right to our webpage. And as I was scrolling while Elizabeth was talking, talks right out of the gate on how to join the BMC. So this is where you can go if you're out there wondering, how can I maybe get involved here? First and foremost, you should join the BMC. I think that's probably the most important thing. Secondly, as you can see, our call for subcommittee membership 2023 is pretty straightforward. It's here, it'll describe what you do, and then you can ultimately apply to join a subcommittee. What that does, it's I believe it's a Microsoft form that you will fill out, very simple, name, rank, and serial number. You fill that out, and it will send that to me, and then I'll distribute them to each of the subcommittee people. Doesn't mean you have to do this way. Like Elizabeth said, if you're interested today, you want to step up and give her your name, you can do that. But sometimes we just take for granted that we know how to get there. Maybe you all don't out there, but this is how you do it, even with a difficult website.
An example of kind of what we're looking to create is what Andre created with the for your codes. I don't, so we had the opportunity to stop by the membership booth. There, really, you took information you had and information that was provided on ICC's website or that's already created to provide information. So simple, fairly simple stuff like that is what we're looking at, just to get the information out there. Yeah, I think that's all. Are we, time commitment wise, we're supposed to have 4, essentially conference calls a year. Most of what we've done, we've had 1 conference call in the past 4 months. And then the rest of it was just emails back and forth. And you can respond to when you have time. So time commitment, there is a time commitment, but it's not outrageous.
And again, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
One of the things that was talked about with letters, thank you for bringing that up, following back up, the letters go back a long ways. In my memory, I've probably been on here for quite a while. And one of the problems that they ran into that I heard over and over again on the letters was getting the database of the people. And I want to plug that into your head now and think about a way to get the database of those people. The only way I know you can get it really is from ICC, and you have to get that commitment from ICC on that database of people to be able to get that letter out. And the reason I'm saying it is because it was one of those things that I had seen it come and go a couple times on this committee. And I truly believe it's a very important piece thing to take forward, try and run with it again. And I want you to realize that's a hurdle that you get somewhere you're gonna have to jump.
And I truly appreciate you making that comment, and that's actually possibly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Nash, that might be one of the reasons why we haven't really been able to successfully launch these letters at this point. So, one of the things that Elizabeth and I previously spoke about was possibly, instead of making this data driven through ICC, we can make these letters where it could be, you can either not nominate, but request, or you could request on behalf of others by just going on that website. Obviously, whoever is requesting it will put in their info, and we're gonna base these letters off of the information they provide to us. So if somebody says somebody actually had 5 years of service, we're just gonna go based off of what they're sharing with us. And, you know, on the cover letter, we'll put a little disclaimer, 1 to 2 sentences saying, based off of the information provided to us, we want to acknowledge so and so for this and that. And so we want to start doing this right away. And I think it might be a challenge to actually get who became a permit tech this year, right? Who became a CBO. That's going to take a lot of work. So we want to start recognizing our members. So I think this is the method we're going to take. Once again, if it's okay with Mr. Nash and the board, if that's allowed by them. So thank you.
We can't.
Yeah, I just wanted to, sorry, Ron, go ahead.
I said, we can't speak for the board. There's only 3 of us here. Director Savage has joined us in the back. But that is something that Nash forward to Ron Feaster perhaps, and then we can bring it up at the board. But I will do a sample, something like 2 or 3.
I just, relative to the welcoming and that sort of thing, Ron, during his presentation, identified that ICC's building a kind of a welcoming thing. So I think we need to make that connection and just be sure we're working collaboratively and not kind of down the same path in separate ways.
We'll work together.
Our goal is not to reinvent the wheel, and a lot of the information that we were working on was brought up in that report today. And so we're not gonna do anything outside or separate from or in conflict.
One of the things I wanted to bring up, your survey, with the QR code in the back, you should definitely get that over to Rick Coffey and get that into the next GR report or to Bill, you know, but I know you know Rick as well, so.
Yes, I think, were you able to add it to the?
It's on the list, absolutely. So when we turn that thing over, it'll be published out and we can talk about the tools that we have out of there. But yes, short answer is yeah.
Okay, and it's in each classroom or?
Yeah, but that's catching the people here. If we get it out into the GR report, that's gonna catch everybody that goes out too, so. I do want to recognize a couple more directors that popped in. Want to introduce yourself?
Mike Savage. Building Safety Director, Town of Florida, ICC Director at Large.
And any thoughts, comments for the group, or just hopping in to say hi?
Hopping in to say hi, but, I mean, you guys are doing a wonderful job. The board really looks forward to feedback from your district membership councils. And we're happy that we're gonna have one of your own on the board now. We're gonna put him to work because these two young guys on the board probably. But, no, the building membership council, make sure we're just kind of, we got over out there to drop in just to say hi and watch you guys in action, because all the membership councils do a great job. And I think if you're not a liaison, I recognize another board director. And we're gonna walk around and just see what you got. So keep up the great work. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And the other ninja-like board member who tried sneaking in and blending into the crowd.
Yeah, I've never been referred to as. Yeah, Jim Sayers, building official for the city of Oregon, and director at large of the ICC BOD. One thing I want to commend this group on is the work they did with the continuity and outreach. It became kind of a platform for what the board has helped initiate to bring all the different membership councils together with the can't think of a word, but it's the overarching council that includes all the chairs and vice chairs. And that really kind of sprung during putting that steering of yourself as a kudos, and thanks for all the great work you do.
Thanks, sir.
I think an important point to make, and thank you, Jim, for that. This continuity and outreach was born from this group here by,
Chris Young.
Chris Young from, well, parts unknown at this point, but, Chris was the architect of it, and we've just kind of built on it. Now the board has picked up on it, and I think you'll see it's going to be, even enhanced even more going forward. So thank you for that.
All right. Any other comments, questions on the Raise the Profile Subcommittee? Anybody here or anybody out in the crowd? And again, you'll hear about the Best Practices Innovation Subcommittee as well in a second here, but please, if you have any time to commit to these, we'd love to have any of you step up and help us out. Or, also if you have somebody back in your office, who's wanting to get more involved with ICC, this is a great spot. I think most of us here started in a subcommittee and kind of worked our way from a subcommittee onto the governing committee. So great way to start your involvement with ICC. With that, I'll turn this over to Best Practices and Innovation Subcommittee. Chris.
All right, I am one half of what I hope to be, the best practices. There has been a lot of excitement, and one of the things that we are always striving to do is to try to make these codes and what we do every day simpler and easier to explain. None of us are out there dictators, we're all educators. Right, so the idea here is to try to share ideas on what is the best way possible to disseminate information to the people who swing hammers and lay pipe, or who pull wire, but also to the politicians that are appointing authorities that we report to, right? And so the question was, how do we create an atmosphere where the best practices of how we accomplish all of those things and so many other things be done in a simple manner? And that was part of what we were doing with the panel on yesterday. And there were some great ideas that came out of that. And of course, one I give is always a shout out to Matt, because you did a tremendous job in the role, and you gave me a lot to work with. And I was really excited about that. Absolutely, because a lot of times come things you're like, oh, there's nothing here to work with, but that was not the case with you. We would start and work, the initial starting was to look at vision statements and how to distill that one down into something that is not only memorable and easy to remember, but something that's even quicker than the elevator pitch, but something to get people to understand just what BPI is actually intending to do. We also took a look at something that's how to disseminate the information. It's great to have the information and have it simple, but how do you get that out there so that, as Elizabeth said, how do you not reinvent the wheel? So I talked with with Bill Nash, not long ago, and he said, put it in an email, and I think I did. But I'm gonna repeat it here so that everybody hears. One of the things that we don't use is simple technology. We always try to go, so here's a web page, and it's got 17 clicks before you get to it. And I can see that our render's page doesn't have 17 clicks. It's gonna be real quick and easy, and I like that, because they say if you gotta go more than 3 clicks, you're all done. I'd like to do something similar, but with something you can carry in your pocket. You probably have the app on your phone right now. It's called Reddit. Reddit is essentially an idea or information, a niche information sharing site. Or if you have an idea, issue, or a passion, you can go there and talk with other people who also have that same idea or passion and share those ideas. So one thing we're looking at possibly doing is creating a Reddit page where all of these best practices that we talked about here all the time, but also in the listening session. And again, if you weren't at the session, I want to just highlight at least just a couple that I thought were just absolutely tremendous. Out of Ohio, one person mentioned that we have a real problem with some of our permit placards that are posted. Assuming you have a paper one, they're posted, and then somebody would take it down, they would alter it, and put on another building to trick people. It was thought that perhaps if you could put something on there that's unique on it, that it couldn't be transferred. And my first thought was QR codes, automatically generatable QR code. But that could be a best practice that we could implement. Another thing that's brought up was a vision, instilling a culture of the next person up. And that is actually an idea that was instilled from your favorite coach and mine, Coach Dungy, who led to the Indianapolis Colts Super Bowl championship run. So if you don't know about that, you'll learn today. But anyway, he actually said that he had this ethic about next man up, because football team, next man up, but here was next person up. When you're in a position of leadership or not, you always want to keep your eye open for the next person up, because you're not always going to be in the position that you are, whether you are on the front line as an inspector or a department head or any part of that. There's always somebody that you can mentor, bring on board, and bring in behind you, because you need to consider that ladder that you're on still has rungs beneath you. So I thought that was also a great idea to not only to create the next person up culture within your place of employment that you town community that you serve, but also to write those things down into your standards of practice, SOPs, right? A lot of times our greatest enemy is time more than anything else, being able to have the time to put these SOPs down. So what one thought was brought up to have a special notebook, if you will, and scratch those ideas, just write them down as they come to you. So when you actually do have the time to distill them into an actual SOP, then you already have someplace to go to your some people call it a common planner. It's a common place to put your ideas for that. And you can implement that in your department, so you don't have to try to remember, what's that idea I had? I can't remember it now. You know where to go. That's just some of the things that we're looking for to highlighting within best practice and innovation, so that we don't reinvent the wheel. We're efficient in what we do, and we're able to share this information in an easily accessible place that everybody can have right in the palm of their hands, even if it's on an app that you probably already have on your phone now.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris.
What you're in for.
Any comment? I know you have said.
I think it's gonna be a pleasure to work with Chris. We've worked, collaborated in other things, so this will be a great extension. I'm pleased to be offering my services to help.
Excellent. And to that point, anybody in the room, if you have best practices, things that you're doing in your jurisdiction or in a neighboring jurisdiction, that you think other people would benefit that from, reach out to that best practices innovation crew, or join their subcommittee. But even if you don't have the time to do the subcommittee, at least reach out to them, share your ideas. We can get that out. We do a best practices document that we can collaborate with major jurisdictions and IAS on. And we'd love to keep expanding that document. It's meant to be a living, breathing document that keeps growing and adding ideas to it. So definitely check that out. That's also out there on our website. And but if you do have ideas, it's a easy form to be able to submit those. So anybody have any questions for the best practices innovation crew? Thoughts, comments? Anybody out there?
Just that they are still looking for members, and like we talked
Yep.
earlier.
Yep.
Sign up.
Yeah, the same way that Bill was showing you that you can sign up for Raise Profile. It's the same link, same everything out on on the BMC website if you'd like to join up with them. All right, continuity and outreach. Andre, can I still call on you to get some
Absolutely,
updates
I
there?
am at your disposal, Ed. Yeah, so everyone's heard about the charter review enough, you know, if you have any questions, please, you know, grab Allison, grab myself, but I think we've talked about that fine and fair enough. The other big component of what we've been working on has been the Monday.com revamp of the matrix, which actually speaks to a lot of what Chris was just talking about, because those pages have individual forum sections where if there's a topic for a project, you can post about it. You can leave that there for everybody to come to later saying, hey, I had this really good idea at the bar, you know, talking to so-and-so last night. Want to make sure it gets there, and then you can debate it. The point of all of this has really been to recognize the fact that, you know, in the digital era, we're working asynchronously. There's a lot of people working from home that they do their own jobs at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, let alone volunteer work, right? And fact is, you know, we want to make it available to membership that you have the tools so you can work when it's convenient for you on the projects that you want to be part of. So that way you can show up in the meetings and explain what you did, right? And so the meetings aren't a place to have to go through and, you know, procedurally get through all that work. It's about producing that. So thank you, Billy. In fact, if, do you mind scrolling down to the outreach subsection? I think it's orange. It's the color code for it. Oh, yep, outreach to social media, and you see membership survey there. If you can click that little caret on the left.
Chevron.
Yeah, whatever, a little further to the left, like an inch to the left. There you go. You'll find the survey posted there, so you can go ahead and find access from it if you click on the survey link right there. Oh, down one? Yeah, there you go. And then the open button to the right. Go back and then hover over it for a second, and then the open. And then, oh, maybe, okay, I did just post that, so it might not have gone through yet. In a nutshell though, what we're trying to do is make it a heck of a lot easier to access the information that you're doing in your work groups and in your subcommittees. And have an easier time being able to facilitate all this work and track it. The membership does a lot of amazing different tasks, and some of them come to fruition, obviously, for one reason or another. Sometimes they get moved around or shuffled around. And we want to make it easier to see just what we're working on and how. So we're hoping that a platform like this, whether it's this one or something like it, helps the board understand exactly what it is that the membership is deciding to work on this year and makes it easier to track those long-term projects. So does anyone have any questions kind of about this? Oh, yes, sir.
Is there a hyperlink from membership to this? Because I seen it the other day. I was out last night looking for it and didn't find it.
So in order to get in right now, because this was a prototype that we did, and yeah, I bought this just to do a small version of it. You got an invite from me, and if you haven't gotten an invite from me, call me and I will send you one. But the invitations can be done by me, Billy, or Tim. But any of us can add you to it. You can see all the board guests there. That's how you're getting access to it. Yeah, and so, yeah, I send you a link there at some point, and if not, we can send you another one. I've made some changes here and there, but you absolutely can. Down the road, if this is something that, you know, is decided to be a larger investment, then it'll look probably a little bit differently. So from an enterprise perspective, you know, I went with a cheap, simple membership. If this is something that the membership is going to have down the road, there are versions of this that are just free access to be able to view, like you're talking about, where you just get a link. And if you're just a regular ICC member interested in what's happening, you can see that. Whereas you have different privileges. If you're a GC member and you need to edit things or post about your projects, or our liaison who has to manage all of this.
Much of what we talked about today already is on here, as you can see if you scroll, but like Andre said, I think as you see the changes to the continuity and outreach, just for discussion, let's call it, that's the new membership council that was created, whatever it's going to be called. We'll grab this and maybe have a budget to do some more work with it. So I think you'll see this in a different, same probably format, but under a council now. Well, that's to be discussed, but I think that's the pathway we kind of envisioned when we talked about having this council. So.
Can you do me one favor and click on the lithium ion battery ad hoc committee? Can you click on the little conversation button to the right? A little further. Yep, not that far, not Tim's face, to the left. The little, there you go, that's the guy. So for instance, right here, we have the posted lithium ion when they were calling for committee. And this was a way to get it out to the membership to be able to just click that link, go there, and apply if you'd like to. And then simultaneously, let's say Billy wants to tie this into the email list for everyone receiving meeting notices. You can get updates specifically on whatever projects you'd like to be involved in. So instead of getting the entire thing that you have to sort through to find, hey, this was the project I was working on, you can just get the stuff that's been interesting. So, there's hopefully a lot of toolkit for that.
Ideally, the lead on those projects as they're listed here, you can see along this column. You have access, you'll be able to track it or at least input in a simple format that we can all view, and hopefully in the interest of collaboration, making sure that we're all on the same page or at least on the same electronic page.
Absolutely.
That's the idea.
And you'd have access to anyone who's listed there, showing that they're a project lead, so their contact information is out there for you. So, hey, I'm interested in this project. You have names of people that have been carrying it for some time. You can find individual files that are uploaded as well. So the work that we've been working on with the charter review or the Vote for Your Codes projects as well. You can find template letters there for challenge letters, things like that you can download yourself, play with, do what you'd like. But hopefully something like this becomes a repository for the information that's being produced and a way to track conversations in real time. So if you want to check this when you have a few minutes, putting your kids down at 2 o'clock in the morning and you got 5 minutes that you want to spend doing this, great, do it on your own time because that's valuable. That's truly valuable time.
Quick question for you.
Sure.
Let's say that there is an exhibit a line there, item that says it's all done, it's finished. And does it allow, if something new happens?
Yeah.
Does a new thread have to be begun or does it allow?
No, you can crack it back open. So like the done one there for booth coverage, that's marked in green.
Okay.
You could move that back. Let's say that we thought we had everything finished and then we found out, we left a block of time out of the table. You bet you could reopen that and put it back to working on it or stuck or needs help right now. You can color code it and kind of give that signal. You can also set it up to then automatically email people that, hey, the status changed, so check this. So all of those components that we're trying to, figure out the logistics in real time with emails and text messages, we get to a place where just one place is kind of managing all of that for you and make it easier.
Okay.
Yeah, you bet. Any other questions on continuity and outreach or the Monday.com platform? All right, seeing none, we do have another board of director that popped in. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself and say a few words.
Sure, I just checked in my flight tomorrow morning. Thank you. Just happy to be part of the organization. I always appreciate BMC and the hard work and good luck with new members. Some people need more help than others. And also this, I wouldn't be here without them, so we love you. I know you don't have your email, but anything you guys need, the phone call away. I'm sure the director's covered everything else we heard this week. The folks in this room have been very good participants and not spectators. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Does our new incoming CNO chair have any comments or anything she'd like to say?
I'm super excited to keep working on this and help the steering committee transition over if they take on that and see how CNO evolves around.
There you go. Thank you. Brevity is the same way. We will move on then from the subcommittee reports and jump down to old and new business and ABM wrap up. Bill, you got anything?
Yeah, no, I just put that on the agenda for today in case there was any outstanding business people maybe want to have some questions answered or just update on where we are as we check into our flights. Make sure we get home on time.
Does anybody have any thoughts, questions, comments from the ABM? Any feedback, anything that you really liked, anything that you didn't like? And we had some comments before on some of the positives from it, but headshots are very headshots.
I heard the American Wood Council just.
Well, they really nailed it every time.
I do know that. I do know that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there usually a survey so that all the positive feedback can be provided back to ICC?
Yeah, usually is.
Is it on the app?
They'll probably send you an email.
Yeah, it'll be an email. I do know that attendance here, if you haven't noticed, in some of the rooms has been pretty packed, so we're up a good percentage from last year, so. It's good to see new faces, and frankly, a lot of first timers, which I think was tremendous. And of course, many old timers as well, respect. But it's good to see attendance up, particularly here in St. Louis.
Yeah, and especially with no code hearings or anything
Code
associated
hearings,
with it as well, that they're just coming here for the ABM and the education, I think I thought it was fantastic.
And those happen to be the most packed sessions, right? We had.
And Wood Council was standing.
Okay, that's.
The other program that was taken advantage of pretty well, it looked like, was the leadership experience.
Yep.
I think replacing the shadow program, I think the board needs to hear that was, I think, a success too. We had a young man from Maine that was there with the program, and the little guy hasn't had a chance to sit. I mean, he's been running hard.
Yeah.
And that's good to see. If we can get another hook in, we'll be happy.
There you go. I'll open it up to anybody else. Anybody else have any feedback on the ABM? We do have a member of the host committee here as well, Dave. You know, so if you don't like, St. Louis or anything like that, it's actually more in the Kansas City area, so.
I hope everybody had a good time.
Yeah. Amen.
All right, 2023-2024 goals. Start thinking about those now, probably at we'll squeeze one more virtual meeting before the end of the year. I believe, right? November, we should be having one.
November 8th.
Yep, yeah, November 8th. So, start to think now, we definitely want some good, solid, manageable goals for next year, especially out of the subcommittees. I think that's where most of our goals come from. So, I'll be talking to the subcommittee chairs, co-chairs, over the next week or two here about, really developing some good goals for those groups. But, if anybody has any goals, what we should be working on, what we want to accomplish in the next year, definitely reach out to us, and I'll throw out a request that everybody come up with at least one goal for our next November 8th meeting. That is a goal for this group that we can kind of throw together, and maybe we'll pick out the 4 or 5 best and really focus in on those for 2024.
And yeah, thanks. Some of you may remember from years past, we've done an annual report. We will no longer be doing an annual report. However, that doesn't mean that we can't still have our goals that we need to meet and then report. And ultimately, the reporting will go to this continent. Let's call it the Continuity and Outreach Council, whatever it is going to be. That's the group that will provide the annual membership council report. So our goals are still important here at the BMC, and I think the matrix and the Monday platform or whatever it's going to be, I think it's where we can pull much of that information going forward.
Yep. So I still want us to outshine all the other groups. So we can say, hey, look at this. We had 5 goals and we got them all done and knocked them out of the park. I think that's really what we want to come up with.
I think the matrix again, or the Monday platform, let's load that up with BMC projects and BMC initiatives. And that will,
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Emerging leaders gave away gift bags that they're already done.
Sustainability did have cupcakes.
Yeah.
It is the 100th meeting.
It was there, yeah, 100
100th
meeting down there. All right, so, yeah, well, we've got so much packed into these meetings though, that we can't, they have nothing to do now. We've taken all their best and their brightest and brought them over here already. All right, moving on then to membership council liaison reports. This is gonna be, obviously, we don't have everybody here. A number of our people have termed off who were liaisons, and we're going to have some new liaisons. I don't want to assign necessarily all the new liaisons yet until I know, kind of, learn from who these new people are. They're gonna be coming in, so I can get people in the right spots. But actually, fire service and major jurisdictions and sustainability, I think we've got those ones kind of down already. Brian, Andy, right? All right, so I've at least got those three knocked off, and I'll make formal announcements on the liaisons for, probably at that November meeting, when we get a little bit more time. I do also want to bring up, one thing that I want us to think about, and maybe we can put this on the agenda, talk about it at the November 8th meeting. Are there other groups that we should be liaisoning with, I guess? You know, I'm thinking about Permatech Nation and Wicked, for sure. So I think it would be great for us to have a liaison to go to those, their meetings as well. You know, and report back to us as to what they're working on, some of the things that, you know, if there's any collaboration between the groups there. And there might be others as well, you know, that we should be, you know, kind of reaching out to and sharing ideas with.
To that end, John Hudson, did a fantastic job of bringing in, you know, folks from outside of just our silos. Which included things like AIA with ELGL, merging local government leaders, which is a much more pluralistic organization, you know, that talks about local government in general, librarians, you know, public health staff, all kinds of stuff, to get that story out there, and just something for your consideration as well. That might be fun guest speakers or, you know, whatever that looks like. So,
yep, thanks for that. Yeah. So, yeah, so you kind of keep that in mind, you know, yeah, like I said, you know, I may be asking for a liaison to both of those groups for sure. And yeah, AIA or some of these other groups as well, you know, especially if you have a connection already, you know, and you're already going out to some of these meetings.
Sure.
You know, we can kind of set that up to where, you know, you can give us a couple minutes, you know, of a report as to what those groups are working on. And yeah, definitely, you know, I think Dan Dockery, you know, was starting to go down that path of who are your partners and bringing them in as guest speakers. And we you know, kind of over the years tried to keep that going, but I definitely like to see that for 2024, bringing in some of those partners again to be our guest speakers and just talking about their organizations. So, but again, we can discuss that a little bit more at the November 8th meeting, but kind of keep that in the back of your mind between now and then, especially if you have connections to any of those groups. All right, so let's go through a few liaison reports if we have anybody here that can speak to what the other groups are working on. So emerging leaders.
Just for a point of order here,
sure.
it's 20 minutes to 11.
Yep.
We have till 11. We can go after if need be, but.
Right, but we've got there's other meetings starting at 11.
Right.
Coach.
Just want to be conscious of the 20 minutes we have moving in.
Yeah, the CCSC meeting is coming up too, but yeah.
We have an election process. We know how those go.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I definitely want to jump through these pretty quick. So, you know, max of 2 minutes each. But PLMC, Al?
Yes.
All right.
So the biggest thing that we're looking at probably promoting over the next year and forward is the Vote for Your Codes initiative 3 years ago. I don't know, COVID's messed up my timeline on things. Some number of years ago, every membership council signed our first joint membership council proclamation where we all agreed to participate in this as we move into this new cycle and we get into it. And every single year we will have code change testimony. We will have people participating. We do want to engage and we want all of the membership councils involved in that. So PLMC will be starting that back up. So that's all I have. And also an apology that I have to run because I booked my flight for a different meeting timeline. Since ELMC usually wraps a little sooner than.
Could you check in?
But yes, I am.
All right.
But I thank you all so much for the opportunity.
Thanks. Fire service, Dad?
Last meeting, they actually gave a wonderful presentation about wildfire. So that's a big topic right now, of course, with some of the problems that have happened recently. And the other main concern on theirs is storage batteries, which is a big thing in everybody's mind. And with that, I will pass it back.
All right. Does anybody have anything on global?
They had 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah. And Andy has agreed to jump over from global. I know you're gonna be heartbroken to leave that group, but we'll take over for Jim on major jurisdictions moving forward here. So Major jurisdictions.
Mr. Chair, unfortunately, I have no report. As you know, the directive that I had the other night was, I would be in major jurisdictions, give major jurisdictions a report. So I have a great report from major jurisdictions from us, but not from us, the major jurisdiction. So I apologize. If I'd had my computer, I could have pulled that up, but I did not know that. I was gonna be sitting this meeting until 8 o'clock this morning. Therefore, I have nothing for you. I can email it.
No problem. PMG, I don't think we have any PMG reps here.
I need to replace Doug Wise.
And yeah, like I say, that's one of the ones, maybe one of the new members will find somebody. And then, sustainability.
I apologize, I was on vacation. Last I did that, so I don't have a report.
No problem. See how quickly I can get through these. All right.
All works that.
Does anybody have any other comments from any of the other membership councils, even if you're not the official liaison? Anything else anybody else is working on? All right.
The only thing I would like to know is what PMG's thoughts and concerns may be about electrification of America. What their thoughts are on what the future of gas systems will be in the electric more heavily electrified future. Really like to know their thoughts on it.
I think I might have found my PMG liaison.
I'm all full up, it's just a question.
And I can't wait for you to report back.
Wow.
There you
Moving on to our 2024 meeting schedule then. Bill, any thoughts on that? I mean, what we've been doing in the past is, every odd numbered month, we'll have our virtual meeting. And then we kind of adjust that with the, that spring leadership meeting, whenever that is, we'll kind of adjust there, and then same thing with the ABM, but.
No, we've traditionally done it, every odd month on the second Wednesday of each month at 3 PM Eastern time.
So that seems to be working. Hopefully it continues to work for
Change it,
everybody.
but that's what we did.
But yeah, and like I said, if our in-person meetings are close to another meeting, we can always adjust or cancel a meeting if we need to. It's not much of a point to it, I guess, but. All right, the last real piece of meat for us today here is the elections of a chair, vice chair, and secretary. Bill, do you want to conduct those or kind of take over from here?
I can do that.
All right.
I can do that. We'll take, does anybody have any questions on, before we get started on the election process? So we'll take nominations now for the chair.
Chairman, I would just like to say thank you for your leadership and Mark's leadership, and I would like to make a nomination for Ed to be chair and Mark to be vice chair.
Second. Thank you. I think we'll do chair first. Just to be clear.
For chair.
You should be, not asking for nominations from the floor 3 times and all that good stuff.
No, I mean, no, we absolutely do that.
But, yeah.
If there's any other nominations, then please, let's put them on the floor now.
That's once.
Oh. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor?
Second.
There's one man on the floor for, chair.
But do we have to vote for him?
I'll make a motion to then motion to appoint.
Make a motion, we appoint Ed as chair.
Second.
Ed, they suck.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is open for vice chair.
Did you want?
Make a motion for Mark.
Second.
Vice chair, yeah.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
You're getting good at this.
It's hopeful.
Well, nominations are closed. There's one nomination on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next item, next position, and we've chosen to fill this now, right? That says we had some discussion on this. This is a new position that was created last year. And we've decided to fill it this year. Secretary position is, designed to do what, Ed? What was, I mean,
Basically to help you out, because
thank you for saying
need it.
Thank you for saying.
Yeah, just to, you know, to help with notes and minutes and kind of keeping the subcommittees organized and some of that type of stuff, so.
Okay, so I'll take nominations for secretary.
And I will nominate Rachel as secretary.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for Rachel Parrish. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
Last chance to get out of it.
Are there any other
Throw somebody
nominations?
else under the bus.
Really generous today, like,
I
take
know.
advantage of it.
Please make this easy. Don't decline the nomination.
I'll second Andy's move to closing the nominations.
Very well. We have one candidate for secretary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome, Rachel.
All right, with that, we will close the elections. Thanks, everybody, for getting through that relatively quickly, and I look forward to working with Mark and Rachel here on the next year.
Okay, so the other thing I'd say on this is, just to be clear, the two candidates that are here, we lost one already.
No, well, yeah, we've lost three, or we've lost two of the three that were here. Yeah,
So we've lost a couple, right? So we do have, there's three others that aren't here.
Right.
And we will now communicate with them that they've been elected and hope that they will serve. And then those names, those 6 names get moved to the December meeting of the Board of Directors. And your term will begin in on the 2025 year. So there may be some additional changes. They start 2024.
January 1st.
January 1st. So they start then. So there may be some additional changes to that. That's why we did the contingency people. So let's keep that in mind, that may change.
All right, with that, yeah, closing thoughts, you know, just thanks everybody for being here, willing to, you know, serve ICC and show up and get your opinions and your voices out there. Thanks to the crowd. I know a lot of people had to catch flights, so, yeah, I think we're down to about half the crowd that we had when we started the meeting 2 hours ago, but, you know, just I appreciate everybody for being here. Again, we need some help on the subcommittee, so don't be afraid to step up. That's kind of a great step into, you know, starting to help out here on anywhere throughout ICC. I do again want to thank Jim and Dan and Audrey for their time and service, as well as Robin and Doug as well, of course, but the 3 that are terming off for sure. 7 years on the board for each of you, so appreciate your time. It's 2 3-year terms, so we extended them for COVID that extra year, so they got a bonus 7th year out of it. But actually, I'll turn it over to Jim if you have any closing thoughts on your last in-person meeting here.
First, I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to serve on board. It was a great opportunity, well worth it, learning top notch, no doubt about it. And I can only say, for those out there that haven't served on the board, put your name up, get an opportunity to step in. Even if you're not on board, just being on the committees and being involved in committees, and the different things. I mean, Lord knows that some of those board members are like, man, I wish I had 4 more people on this committee to help me out. And, you know, if you guys are out there, that 4th person probably would really make a difference. You really help facilitate the things. And being able to have the input from you guys when you're not on the committee. You know, there's times that we sit there and we wonder, well, what's the rest of the group think? Should we go this way or should we go that way? Because, you know, it could go both directions. And by putting your input in really would make a difference, and it ultimately makes the workflow a lot easier for everybody, and we accomplish a lot more. With that, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Just one person. Yep. I'm sorry. Before we go, I know Dan was hoped to be here this weekend. But as you've heard, there's been some challenges within his family. So whether you're a person who prays or a person who just likes to think and have a thought once in a while about somebody, just kind of keep one thing that he typically says in a way to kind of honor, what he's all about, trying to take the kid fishing.
Yeah, right.
Show you love.
And I would like to make one more comment. I just want to thank Mr. Nash for everything he's done this past year. You do a lot of things for the BMC, GC, and we do need to recognize Mr. Nash, especially because he has a very difficult chair to work with, so.
All right, was there a second to adjourn? It's like, all right. Any other last comments?
So, are we gonna take the group picture with everybody because we're the coolest?
Sure. Let's have a quick group picture, but with that, all those in favor of adjourn, say, please say aye. Get out of here. But yeah, the GC members can stick around and try to get a quick picture of the group.
Where are we seeing? What have we been?
So if you,
Excellent. Put you to work. Yeah, we'll be, once I get back into town, I'll reach out. We can start talking about some,
Yeah, I want to try to get the board together. Sit down and bounce it. Stuff like that.
Yep, I got it, I'll take it. I'm not. Yeah, you gotta squeeze a little.
I don't blame.
Just way across the brush.
You will. Did you get everybody? Hey, yeah, nothing for nothing, but, John did do a layout in front, like one of the French girls.
Oh.
That's not happening.
awesome. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good job. Got it. Sir? I just heard. Yeah. Doesn't run out. Thanks. That's helpful.
Can you screen it?
So.
Yes, sir. Barbecue is down the street. So it's a better.
Great to see you.
I don't, the last one. I think I asked Bill last year, I think he said it was a Carlo thing, you know, Carlo.
No, we got a lot of stuff.
Get us back in heavy. You have to think another day. Tell it, it's a good day. Okay, then I'll make. No. 19.
Thanks, guys.
Well, yeah, that's slow down some.